was fine when you held my hand. I was fine when you pulled me down. You said,
Hey guys, it's Mira. Wow, has it been a while since I've used my mic for talking and everything, besides on live streams. This is an actual, short video I'm gonna be doing that's probably gonna be, hopefully not 10 minutes. But, anyway, this is an important video on my part, because people are like, hey, you're good at RPing, why don't you RP with me? And another thing, and I'm like, okay, that's dope. But then people don't realize the problems that if you're in the RP community long enough, you'll understand the struggle with these problems. So before I start ranting and destroying myself, I'm going to start listing them off because these are my problems with RP. They're not in the exact order and everything, but these are 10 problems I have with them. I hate to be one of those channels, but I have to get this out here. Nobody's done a video on this. People need to understand that sometimes with an RP character, with an original character especially, you can't do these types of things. So, I might as well get into it. So, the first one is going to be RPing with an overpowered original character. So, I've not cosplayed, jeez. I have RP'd with a lot of people from when I was 8, not even 8, what was I, 10-ish? I would start RPing when I was around 10, and I would always look at those characters that are, super awesome and everything, and I'll be like, what would happen if they were, ultra princess, or, something like that, because I was, fucking 10. That I found was that, hey, not a lot of people... a lot of people do this, especially younger RPers and everything that are just just started coming into the role-playing community. But, I see so much of this, their original character is so overpowered that you can't even role-play a fighting scene without losing. And that's really, really stupid. And if you want to have an overpowered character, their strength has to equal their weakness. Okay, so that was a minute and a half of just straight up nothing. So the next one is forcing the RP how they want it to end. Oh my god, have I done this before, but I have stopped recently. I just go with the flow because that's how an RP goes. But recently, people think that when they RP, they want it to go their way. So, let's take a really old RP that I did. So, it was between the gender-bent Natsu and an original character. I'm not going to say who it is because I don't know if they're even watching, but it's a thing. But I played as Natsuko. And what happened is that, when I was RPing with this person, they made it go their way 110%. They were how did it go? It was hey, you want to be, this, queen or king or whatever? You can't have that because I want to be the king or the queen. And I'm like, well, then, how's it gonna work for me? And they're just like, oh, you could be the peasant. I'm like, are you serious? But, yeah, it's forcing the person that you're RPing with to make a complete 180 and drag them down to the way they want the RP to end. Saying hey, I want us in the end to get married and have children. Well, what if I don't want to get married to you and not have children? Well, they will force you into that ending, and I do not like that, and that's another problem. This one doesn't bother me as much as this next one that I'm gonna say, but it does kinda ruin stuff sometimes when you're in a large group chat or something. There was a website that I used to go on, it was based around da 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 da, and it's a great anime, by the way. You guys should check it out. But it's like it's just go check it out. I don't need to explain it. But what bugs me is that sometimes these people do not like participate. They just stand there and watch and just give information about, hey, I'm just gonna go grab some chips. I'll be right back. Don't do anything while I'm gone. And I'm like, well, you're not even participating in the RP. The least you can do is like be like, I don't know, a little interactive with the community, I guess. But it's just like, hey, I'm just gonna watch. That's all you have to say. But sometimes they'll just enter a chat, and all of a sudden it'll be like, they'll be dead silent for like 2 hours while you and your other person are like role playing and everything, and it just bugs the hell out of me, like really bad. So we're going on to the fourth problem I have, and it's making the role play over dramatic. I get it, sometimes there's those scenes that need that over dramatic, but I have ran into so many RPs with very young new people into the like the role-playing community, and they over dramatize the entire RP. Like, it's like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure dramatic. Like, they have to pose when they're like in their final form or something, like you don't need to do that. Like, you don't have to over dramatize something. Like, it doesn't need to be like that. It could be mellow and stuff, but it's just you don't have to unless it's absolutely needed, and it bugs people like me, to be honest. I mean, come on. Alright, so number 5 is not listening to the RP situation. I'm not gonna say any names, but I recently was RPing with a friend, and oh my god, my character lost a dog, okay? A very precious dog to the series. And it is cork going to a basket, just saying. So, and, okay, so what happens is that I lose this precious dog, and all they say is like, oh, I'm sorry for your loss, I'm gonna be sick for the rest of the RP, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to fucking die, and I haven't answered that person since, because that has triggered me, and I want them to see this video to understand, hey, I brought up a situation, wait until the situation is over before you start another one so we can continue. But they don't understand that. Alright, so, number 6 is changing the RP into a complete 180. So, I've been in, like, a lot of role plays where it's melodramatic. Like, it's like Korean dramas, but more death, per se. Like, I was RPing as my original character, Honey, which I'm that I'm drawing right now. And she's a sweetheart. I love her to death. But she's also a very depressed child. So I played her into a depressing chat RP kind of thing. So I did that, and what happened was that somebody else joined the chat, and then all of a sudden it was a fucking party. And I'm like, read the past comments if you can, but ask what's going on before you start, like, doing stuff, because I don't see this a lot often, but I do see it quite a lot. Like, it's like 1/3 of the time when I'm RPing that I see this. But I guess it's just like they don't want it to be mellow, but if it's mellow, don't do that, because it's meant what it's meant to be, and it will slowly get happier if we want it to, but sometimes we just want it to be depressing, because that's how we are. We're all depressed sinners, you know? This channel is depressing and full of fucking sin. I mean, Jesus Christ. So, what else? Not putting parentheses when you're out of character. Oh my god, I've had this happen so many times. It's like my living nightmare. I hate it so very much. I hate it with a very strong passion. Like, when you're out of character, do not do the thing that is... Don't do that. That's not okay. My phone keeps going off. But what I'm trying to say is that, when you're out of character, put parentheses around it, and unless you're doing... Well, I guess it still doesn't make sense to me. Well, sometimes people that I RP with, they put the name of the character and then put, a semicolon, like, dot thing. I can't remember what it's called. But they put that, and then they put the line, and then their actions. And I don't have a problem with that. But when they get out of character, they don't do anything. They just put the line after it, and it doesn't say the character at the beginning, and it doesn't have any actions. It's just like, can we continue, or it's your turn, or something like that. It just bugs me because I'm like, it doesn't look like you're out of character when you're in a chat like that. It really does not. So it bugs me a lot. So before I start going on the fucking and then the next one after that, it would be not giving enough information on certain situations. Okay, so I know there is a lot of people out there that are like extremists when it comes to RPing. Like, sometimes people recommend when they're RPing to do paragraphs before they insert their character, or they have a picture in an info page. Like for me, I have a document page for my OC Honey that I'm drawing now. It's like, this is her interests, this is her dislikes, her height, weight, stuff like that, what she normally wears, and stuff like that. It's very detailed, but what people don't understand is, like, you give them a character that's your original character, but they don't know what that looks like, and you can't just give a brief description of, like, stuff like that. Like, you can't just say, oh, I have cat ears, and I have blue eyes, and pale skin. You have to go into a complete description, because people are very picky about who they're RPing with and what the character is. You also have to describe their personalities as well as that, and, like, what kind of actions they have. Like, for my original character, Honey, she is very shy. She loves music. She gets crazy lesbian every time when she is drunk. She's a sweetheart at heart, but, like, it's weird. But yeah, not giving enough info can fuck up a lot of the things that involve, like, RPing and stuff. Oh my god, I'm almost done, and it's almost been 15 minutes. Okay, good. The second to the last problem I have is putting characters, putting the actions of the characters with an asterisk. Okay, there are so many problems with this that I have. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like putting an asterisk, then a dash, or an underscore, or anything like that, it works better. It just fits better to me. Like, I don't know if it's anybody else that does this, but it just fits better for me. And I know a few people that put the parentheses instead of that. Sometimes back to the out of character thing. Sometimes it's better to put 2 parentheses of the same direction. Usually that works. But, like, then back to this one, it's just like, put a star, not a parentheses, not a... Asterisks are the one to go. And the last one, oh my lord, people need to calm down. Alright, so this last one is being the non-canonical child of a character or characters from actual shows. I have a problem with this just because for example, I was in a fairy tale RP for the longest time. I was in there for 3 years, and then I decided to go on my own little journey of out of the wonders of lands, you know. So what I decided to do was like, leave, because mostly it's because, hey, these characters are like everywhere. But majority of this is being like, people would put Gray and Lucy's kids together. Like, not like, it's weird. Like, oh my god. Because Lucy and Gray are non-canonical. And they're not even a couple. They're just really good friends. Like Lucy and Natsu, they are canonical and has been confirmed by the creator of Fairy Tail, Hiro Mashima. So, what bugs me about it is that they put these two characters together and then they have a baby. But this baby is overpowered, for one, doesn't have any weaknesses, and not only that, but they have an attitude that doesn't even resemble either of them. And sometimes they change the hair and eye color because they want to be unique. And if you wanted to be unique, you could have just said, hey, this is kind of an OC, kind of not. So it'd be like, eh. So, yeah. Well, that's been my problems with RP recently. I'm sorry if any of you have, like, done this. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect. I did all of these. But after being in the role-playing community for so fucking long, I have been able to restrain myself from these things. So I wanted to give them to you guys because I feel like they would be important, because I know a lot of you guys are either one, into anime or cartoons or any sort of animation, and you RP for at least once. I know for a fact that some of you even RP as YouTubers and everything. But I feel like if I give this to you, I feel like it's more of a, hey, don't do this, it'll bug people and everything. But these are the problems for me. Everybody's different, but these are the problems for me, and I just want to get those out there. So it's getting close to 8 minutes, or 18 minutes, not 8 minutes. It's way past that. So, anyway guys, never stop partying, live loud and rock out, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!
I was fine when you pulled me